All right, it's time for us to talk sport on Global Television. My name is Anthony Momodu. Sorry for starting a little bit behind schedule. Just trying to dot the I's and cross the T's as we're ready to give you all the big stories making the rounds in the exciting world of sport. Yes, we've got a very interesting matchup that played out last night. Talking about the Europa Conference League final was between two great sides last night, and it was indeed action-packed. As the big story at the end of the day, after 90 minutes, it was Olympiacos have become the first Greek side to win a European title after they beat Fiorentina 1-0 to be crowned the 2023-2024 Conference League champions. Fiorentina thought they had taken the lead inside the first 10 minutes, but Beiragi's effort was ruled offside by VAR, but that was a little to separate the two sides for the majority of the game as they traded blows with Fiorentina, enjoying the better of the chances on the night. Meanwhile, the Greek side came agonizingly close to breaking the deadlock with Ibora flashing his head just inches wide of the Fiorentina net 10 minutes from the end. With the match still goalless, with neither side unable to break the deadlock, the game went into extra time with the possibility of a penalty shootout looming. But in the 116th minute, guess what happened of the extra time? It was Yusuf Rabi who broke the deadlock by heading in an in-swinging cross to put the Greek side in front. And you would say the god of soccer was with the Greek side. A lengthy VAR check left everyone inside the ground, biting their fingernails, but the goal was eventually given, leaving Olympiacos with the task to hold on to their lead for the few more minutes. And Olympiacos were able to stave off a late onslaught from Fiorentina, talking about the Italian side, who suffered a second straight Conference League final defeat after falling short to West Ham last season. And you say probably their jinx never to win the Conference League, but it was a very beautiful night for the Greek side, talking about Olympiacos, as they made history, being the first Greek side to win European title. And indeed, it was a beautiful one, a beautiful header by Arabi, getting all needed just one goal to make the difference between Fiorentina and Olympiacos. So congratulations to the Greeks for stealing the show last night after a very tense encounter between Olympiacos and the Fiorentina of Italy. So it was another second heartbreaker for the Italian side, having lost to West Ham last season in the final of the Conference League. So while we're saying congratulations to the Greek side, Olympiacos, who became champions yesterday, let's take you to Germany, where a very surprising, very surprising news came out there. But hopefully, let's see if Charles Ohaji, who is supposed to join us via Zoom, has connected with us so that we can get his take as regards things playing out. Talking about Charles Ohaji, who is a football coach trained in Canada. Hopefully, he hasn't joined us yet on the program Talksport. All right, let's keep giving you the big stories making the rounds. Let's take you to Germany, where the big story has to do with Vincent Kompany has been confirmed as the Bayern Munich's new manager, with the German giant announcing the shock appointment on Wednesday. Kompany was expected to be part of Burnley's future after being unable to keep them in the Premier League this season, with their relegation confirmed in the penultimate week of the season. As detailed as Mail Sport last Wednesday, Bayern held discussions with Burnley chairman Alan Pace over the compensation fee in the hope of wrapping up a deal quickly. And the German giants have achieved that outcome with the former Manchester City captain, the new man at their helm. Meanwhile, very surprising, he could barely save Burnley from the Premier League, but after that mishap where they got relegated, he is now the coach of one of the biggest teams in world football, talking about Bayern Munich. But let's look at Vincent Kompany. He's the new head coach of FC Bayern, putting pen to paper on a deal until 2027. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich posted on social media on Wednesday, yes, that they have confirmed Vincent Kompany as their head coach. So let's see how well he's going to do this season, knowing fully well that it was a very tough one for Thomas Tuchel to make a difference in Bayern, and he got kicked out despite the performance of his team. So everyone is wondering how come Vincent Kompany, after just 1 year as a manager, he has gotten that big job of taking charge of Bayern Munich. So let's see what he's going to achieve in the coming 2024-2025 season. All right, let's move on to coaches with getting awards. Let's tell you that Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has picked up the Best Coach in the Premier League award at the KFD Globe Soccer Awards in Europe. Mikel Arteta was in attendance at the venue of the event, Costa Smeralda Sardinia, to collect his prize at the inaugural European edition dedicated to European football. The award started in 2010 by the Dubai-based football organization that coordinates the Dubai Global Soccer Awards, organized in partnership with the Dubai Sports Council. Select winners from European edition will be shortlisted for the year-ending Dubai Globe Soccer Award global event in the United Arab Emirates. Mikel Arteta was presented with his trophy by former Arsenal and Spain's football legend Cesc Fabregas, with the judging panel impressed by him guiding the Gunners to a record 28 wins in the Premier League. And the Spanish manager garnered a total of 89 points from the campaign, plus 18 clean sheets. Manchester City crowned the EPL champions. Started 4 years ago after they hopefully is hoping to take them to the right spot to win many trophies. So that's Arteta there getting that trophy there, and congratulations to Arteta. All right, still talking Arteta in the news. Arsenal still in the news. Let's tell you that Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is heading into a formal contract talks with on course to become one of the best paid bosses in the Premier League. The Spaniard is inside the final 12 months of his existing deal, but there is a confidence indications from all sides that an agreement for Arteta to stay will be reached. Not only will Arteta spending new terms be the most lucrative Arsenal has ever offered any manager, the 42-year-old will also be propelled towards the top of the country's paid coaches. All right, let's get... We've got Charles Ohaji joining us via Zoom. Charles Ohaji, good morning. Thank you for joining us on Talksport. Ohaji, yeah, good morning. Thank you
morning, Tony. Tony, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for joining us on Talksport.
Yes, thank you, Tony.
All right, let's just begin our conversation with what played out last night. It was a very interesting cup final, talking about the Conference League, where Olympiacos of Greece have become the first Greek side to win the European title after they beat Fiorentina 1-0 to be crowned the 2023-2024 Conference League champions. How do you see this? What would this mean for the Greek, talking about Greek football?
Yes, thank you, Tony. Of course, Tony, it's congratulations to Olympiacos. It was a very intense game. It was a very strong game playing against Fiorentina. Of course, has been a club that has been on the line. Fiorentina, throughout the season, they've kept showing their capacity. Even last season, they came so close to the same trophy, and they've been consistent too. Olympiacos came up yesterday's game was actually going to be anybody's game, or whoever wanted the game most yesterday was going to get it, and they got that goal they needed, and of course they got the trophy. So for me, I'm happy for them as a nation. And of course, when you look back past, you see the Greek team before now, they've always tried to bring up their heads. They keep pushing in every way. They push both national team and club side football. So I'm happy for them. Of course, this is going to be a boost for them. Of course, it's going to be another way of also giving them more opportunities to participate in the European Cup. So I think I'm happy for the club, Olympiacos. I was happy they won it. At least they have something for the first time going to Greece in a very long time. We've seen a Greece club coming up to win such a trophy. So congratulations to them, and I look forward to seeing more of the clubs in Greece, seeing them doing better coming up next season in the European football.
What do you think is wrong with Fiorentina? Last season they lost to West Ham against all odds, and this season again losing to Greece. And we know Italian football, in comparison, Italian football is kind of has an edge over the English teams, and also for the Greece football. You want to put Italian football ahead of Greek football and somehow at par with English football or a little bit higher. But what's making Fiorentina not be able to get the results when it matters most?
Yes, thank you, Tony. Of course, Tony, as I said, it is football. I mean, football is that's the beauty of the game around the world. You see, the truth is there are three trophies in contention this season: the Champions League, the Europa Cup, and the Conference League. And in the past, we see team from a particular league, like team from La Liga. You see the Madrid winning the Champions League, Sevilla winning the Europa Cup, and so on and so forth. So for me, I think it's a good one. They've shared the trophies. Greece have taken one, the Italian have taken one. The last one is left between the Spanish and the German team, one of them to take it. So for me, I think Fiorentina gave in all their best. As I said, they've been consistent. They've kept moving, they've been coming up, they've been consistent on this trophy, and they gave all their best. You could see the players were disappointed, the coaches, the fan, they were expecting the same way Atlanta was able to conquer, win that trophy, bring it back that joy to the Italian Football League. They were also expecting that they too could also add the Conference League to it, so they will crown a great season this year for the Italian League. They will have done well for themselves, winning two out of the three trophies in contention in Europe this season. So, but of course, it was not to be. That is football for you, and they shouldn't go low. They should. I'm not taking anything from Fiorentina. Fiorentina gave their best. In fact, the golf would have gone either each way. It's just that the god of soccer on that last night wasn't on their side.
All right, well said there. Let's move on to the next talking point. I guess this is the most shocking news in the entire world football currently. Vincent Kompany has been confirmed as Bayern Munich's new manager, with the German giants announcing the shock appointment on Wednesday. Kompany was expected to be part of Burnley's future after being unable to keep them in the Premier League this season, with their relegation confirmed in the penultimate week of the season. As detailed by Mail Sport last Wednesday, Bayern held discussions with Burnley chairman Alan Pace over a compensation fee in the hope of wrapping up a deal quickly, and the German giants have achieved that outcome with the former Manchester City captain, their new man at the helms. How shocked are you? This is Vincent Kompany that couldn't keep Burnley in the Premier League, and a player that's just barely a year into his coaching career lands a very big job as Bayern Munich. What is Bayern seeing that we're not seeing?
Thank you, Tony. First of all, the truth is this: the dynamics in football is changing, and the truth is, the younger generation coaches are taking over. That is just the truth. If you want to keep the flow of the game, we need to these changes. We are seeing them coming all over. Very soon, the Carlo Ancelotti, the Mourinho, and co are going to bow out from the stage. Now, for me, if it's a company, I think before the end of his career, he had a stint. Not now. If you remember, he has a link with Bayern Munich. He has been linked to Bayern Munich not before now. Now, what happened was this: company after retiring from the national team, having the play, going to Bayern, he came back to the championship to take Burnley. Now, Tony, one of the most difficult league to win in the world is the England Championship. That's one of the most difficult league, is to contest that league and win that league. The training, the experience he gathered from that, taking that team from relegation, from championship to the Premiership. And again, at that point, all he needed in the Premiership was just the Premiership experience. Now I tell you, Kompany has proven to be that guy, has been that coach that has come up, that coach in that generation of coaches you always look up to and say, oh wow, these are the coaches that have played. For me, I believe he's going to do well in Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, don't forget, I've been keeping track of this player, of this coach. They've been watching him, and that was why from championship he came to EPL. The EPL is just for him to get experience. And he got the experience EPL, whether relegated or no, he was able to play the EPL. We saw some matches he played. We saw he was able to get there. Of course, if that Burnley team had the resources of let's say a Newcastle team have or a Tottenham team have, Tony, I'm telling you, they wouldn't have gone for relegation. They would have remained in the EPL. So for me, Kompany, it's a coach that deserves to be given a chance. I saw it this morning in the news. He said they have been confirmed as the coach. Of course, just like every football fan in the world will look at, even me, I was like, what are they looking for in Kompany, for God's sake? Which is a company that couldn't keep a team in the Premiership. But again, going back to history, I went back, I did some research, I realized that no, that this Kompany, not just now, there is something in him that this team have seen. Of course, don't forget that the German teams are a highly technical team. The German team don't just appoint coaches anyhow. I'm telling you, if you check, you see that most of the best coaches in the world, they've always come through the German. They've always, at one time or the other, coached a club in Germany. Pep Guardiola was in the same Bayern Munich. Tuchel, joined club of Liverpool, came out from the same Bayern Munich, but sorry, from the same Germany too, for Borussia Dortmund. So you see, they've been able to have these great coaches. Now, when you look at Xabi Alonso. Alonso and Vincent Kompany are almost teammates at the same level. Alonso, see what he did with Bayern Leverkusen, winning the title without losing a single game. So for me, these are the next level of coaches coming up around the world. And then of coaches now we are going to see now taking over football everywhere around the world, both football club and national team. So Kompany for me has gone through the litmus test. He has gone through the training he needed. So I think it's going to do very well in Bayern Munich. They know what they saw in him. They believed in him. They gave him a contract. Let's watch out of Vincent Kompany next season and see what he's going to do.
Do you think there's going to be some form of pressure on Vincent Kompany to deliver the goods, knowing fully well that looking over his shoulders is Bayer Leverkusen, who just won the Bundesliga title, and will be looking to repeat that same feat. And but for Bayern Munich, there's going to be pressure on company to deliver the goods. And in terms of the playing staff, we know that Bayern has some older players who the former coach, in the person of Julian Nagelsmann, tries to ship out in order to bring in fresh players. How big a task is it for a company in getting younger players into the rank and file?
Yes, thank you. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why the club went for Vincent Company. Company, we were able to see what Company did with the Burnley team. Company have been able to show us that he's a coach that can always work with the young players and come up with them. We saw what he did with the Burnley team from coming from the championship going to the EPL. So he has shown that he's a coach that can work with the young team. And of course, don't forget that Bayern Munich is a traditional team, a rich team, not just in finances, but also in young player in academy. They have one of the strongest set of academy that grooms good players, very good players are coming out from this Bayern Munich feeder team. So they know that with company can work with these players. Of course, you don't expect if it's a company. I mean, there are players in Bayern today that, if I'm not mistaken, played with company. There are players, Emmanuel Neuer and co, played with company both at club level at national level. So when you see such, when you see a team bringing such coach, what it tells you that, look, I'm ready to work with a new team, younger boys, bringing a young boy, build a traditional team. Look, this Bayern team have won all the title for the past 1 decade, for the past 10 years. And as I'm telling you, I want to believe that at this point they have nothing much to offer again. And that's why Bayern Munich is rebuilding. With what happened with Bayer Leverkusen coming up with Alonso, Bayern Munich knows at this point we need to rebuild. If we want to maintain another 7, 10 years of winning trophies, we need to start rebuilding by this time. And company, no other person for them is Vincent Company. As I said, Tony, I sat down and thought, I said, company has gone through that. He has gone through that training that they needed to go through, from the Champions League to the EPL, for irrespective of whatever happens there. He has shown that he's a coach that can be trusted. He's a coach that can work with you. He's a coach that can build a strong team for the future for any club. So I'm not worried about that. Tony, I think that we'll give company a chance. Let's watch him and see. Let's give him a chance, pray for him, and then let's see another beautiful coach like Alonso and Xavi and co coming up. I mean, to bring a deeper history to Bayern Munich and generally to the world of football.
All right, let's move to the next talking point. Let's take you to Arsenal, where Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has picked up the Best Coach in the Premier League award at the AFD Globe Soccer Awards Europe. Mikel Arteta was in attendance at the venue of the event to collect his prize at the inaugural European edition dedicated to European football. The award started in 2010 by the Dubai-based football organization that coordinates the Dubai Globe Soccer Awards. All right, let's look at Arteta getting that award as the best coach in the Premier League for his performance with his club side, talking about Arsenal, who gathered 28 wins in this Premier League. Will you say Arteta has finally arrived? And can we safely say next season Arsenal is condemned to win the Premier League?
Thank you, Tony. For Mikel Arteta, of course, we can all see how he started. And for me, I think it's actually one of the great managers for the Arsenal have had in a very long time. Arteta has been able to keep that tradition, okay, of the club going, and we've seen their style of play have changed. We've seen their zeal, their hunger, and the truth is, I don't know for next season if he's going to win the EPL, but we can see he has kept knocking on the door. He has kept knocking, kept coming. He has tried to come, but a little bit of inconsistency has been the issue he had. And then the key time, he loses focus. So he always been the same thing. We say, Arsenal will run. When it's time, they will drop. So Arsenal have kept running. So we wish him the best. I think for these titles he has gotten, They're going to be motivation for him. So wish him the best. Wish to see him next season do better than he has done this season, and we hope and see if he can steal the battle. I mean the title from Man City or from whoever. Ateta has done well this season. I give that to him.
All right, that's talking about Arteta. Then let's move on to other interesting stories making the rounds in terms of big stories concerning Arsenal. Let's move on to the rankings. Charles, let's look at another very yeah. Has been named the player with the highest estimated transfer value in the world football on the heels of his blistering debut season for Real Madrid. The England international stamped his mark on the La Liga from his very first outing for the Los Blancos, following his £113 million transfer from Borussia Dortmund last summer, and finished his league campaign with 19 goals and 6 assists to his name. Let's also let you know that the 20-year-old scored made a goal of a 35 goal contribution across all competitions for the Spanish giant, and will look to add to his haul in the final outing for his club this season. That's talking about the Saturday's Champions League value against a final against Borussia Dortmund. Are you impressed with how well Bellingham has done, and does this recognition fit him very well, being he's been said to be the player with the highest estimated transfer value in world football?
Yes, thank you, Tony. Yes, I'm Tony. Jude has done well for himself. Jude has done well for himself. Not just that, Jude have also shown that most time it is believed that most products from England or most England nationals that play soccer outside English football and outside the English league have not always live up to expectation. Of course, they do well, but they are not consistent. But Jude has shown that he's consistent. Jude has shown, in fact, from Bayern Munich, from Borussia Dortmund up to come to Real Madrid, the young lad has kept firing on. There is no season he has not been on fire. In fact, for the past 3-4 seasons, I know I've been watching Jude. Every season he has kept improving, improving, improving. Of course, and coming to Real Madrid, that he is not a traditional nine. He's not a point man. He's not a traditional nine, but he was able to carry his club. In fact, I want to tell you that whatever Madrid has won this season is because of Jude. Winning the La Liga, Jude gave it to them. Going to the Champions League right now, getting to where they are, Jude contributed a lot to it. So if you check the Real Madrid, there was no really a top nine, a number nine player that I would say, okay, this is a point man. But Ancelotti has been able to use this team well, use these boys well, give them what they want. I mean, give especially Jude. They allowed Jude a free roll, I mean, check his jersey number. He wears for Real Madrid. Doesn't even say, this player is a player that is going to even be striking. But he has given allowed him a free role to run behind these boys, to rove, do what he want to do with the ball. And we've seen him coming in to score very beautiful goals, crucial goals for Liverpool. So for me, I think he has done so well for himself. He has done so well for himself, so well.
Okay, let's look at ahead of the Champions League on the 1st of June. How key is Bellingham going to be for Real Madrid? Because some persons are already foreseeing an upset against Real Madrid. Some saying Borussia Dortmund is going to upset Real Madrid, and because Real Madrid will be taking the German team probably for granted. And some also say it's too early to hail Jude Bellingham. We should wait to see his performance after the Euros 2024 in Germany to truly class him among the greatest players ever.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. And Tony, don't forget that tomorrow's match, or sorry, Saturday's match, is between Jude's former club and his present club. Don't forget that this same Jude just left Borussia Dortmund just a season ago, or sorry, 2 seasons ago, and it's Real Madrid right now doing the same thing. So what I want to tell you is that for me, who wins the cup? The truth is this: for Madrid, when we look at history of the game, Madrid have not lost in the final. In fact, they've won 14 to 15 trophies. Whenever Madrid is in the finals, of course, we expect them to win. In fact, Madrid crossing Man City shows that I don't know if the jinx is going to be broken by Dortmund this time. It's left for us to watch. But the truth, Tony, is this. For me, I think Madrid getting that far, I expect to see Madrid win this.
All right, but for in the Euros, do you think he has what it takes to carry the Three Lions in Euros 2024, or you think
Yes,
by then he
the
might have
truth
been
is this.
burnt
Look at
out?
Three Lions. Three Lions, two. For the past few tournaments, they've also been coming very close. I mean, with the players like Bukayo Saka, the players they have them, Rashford, Cole, with Jude, with Sancho, and all these players coming together. I tell you, the English team, if you check, the English team have been a team, they've been together. See, Tony, what you want in world of sport, especially in football, consistency, teamwork, understanding has been the key. They've been together, they've played, they've been together, and they've kept going.
Charles, are you there?
So I want to tell you that I believe that English team, these English Three Lion teams are going to make an impact going into Euros. So it's for us to watch and see what happens.
All right, let's watch and see what plays out. But just to let you know that the England international, talking about Bellingham, stamped his mark on the La Liga from his very first outing with Real Madrid, following his 113 million pounds transfer from Borussia Dortmund. All right, let's move on to other talking points as we look at issues making the news, and let's look at the issue of a company. Vincent Company is still in the news this morning as the new Bayern Munich manager. Vincent Company has named the 4 players he thinks could win the Ballon d'Or. It was confirmed on Wednesday that Company has left Burnley to become the new manager of Bayern, with the 38-year-old agreeing a contract until 2027 to replace Thomas Tuchel at the Allianz Arena. Before this, the former defender sat down for an interview with ESPN in which he was asked which players he can see claiming football's biggest individual prize in future. Looking outside of those two, Company then mentioned Barcelona star Gavi before going for more of a piste selection. The name was Duranville, an 18-year-old forward who played just 3 times for Borussia Dortmund since joining the club in January 2023. The Belgian is being tipped for big things and has represented his country across youth level. The German Giants had enjoyed frustrating season. But let's just look at players. Charles, from your own perspective, also as a coach, aside Vincent Kompany's views as the players he thinks is going to win the Ballon d'Or, for you, which are the 4 or 5 top players currently that you think are earmarked to win Ballon d'Or?
Yes, thank you, Tony. Of course, we have Kylian Mbappe,
Okay.
Harry Kane. Depending on what happened after the Euros, Mbappe and Harry Kane. I want to say after the Euros, we will know what happens after the Euros. For Mbappe and Harry Kane, we're expecting them to be here. We're expecting to see what happens after the Euros for Mbappe and Harry Kane.
All right. For what of Bellingham?
Yes, of course. Yes, Jude Bellingham. That's why I said, depends on what happened after the Euros. We'll see what happens. For Bellingham, I didn't include Bellingham into the list because for me, I think Jude Bellingham have not won anything yet. There's nothing he has won to his name right now coming to last season. But let's see what happens because he has won La Liga, which is a good one for him. But let's see what happens after the Euros. If he gets to the Euros and perform at the Euros and hit goals at the Euros, then automatically he comes on the list. But for me, the top 2 contender right now is Harry Kane and Mbappe.
Okay, any players from the Italian league you want to look at, and any player from the German league you think is what we could look out for?
Tony, yeah, yes. Of course, there are a lot of young players, there are a lot of exciting players, a lot of exciting, beautiful players that, of course, we always want to look at for in Euros. But again, as I tell you, the national team football is different from club football. So most times, the national team, when you go to Euros like this, there are players you want to single out. At the end of the day, you see players that you never give a chance coming up to show what they can do for their team. So I don't like I don't like being I like being open-minded when going to such tournaments. Don't like picking up players to look at because most times if I do that, it does not make me enjoy the game. It distracts me from enjoying the beauty. First of all, football is a beautiful game you want to watch, you want to enjoy how it goes, and not actually picking out one player or one team that you think will do well. But again, of course, you always want to have permutation and know that look at for our players. But me generally, I just think I want to enjoy these Euros and of course look out for new players that are going to break into the exciting, beautiful world of sports.
All right, let's look at. We're going to get to the Super Eagles before we wrap up the program, especially as we get ready for World Cup qualifiers. But still staying with Bayern, let's let you know that Bayern Munich reportedly see Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton as a solution to their midfield conundrum and could swap for him this summer. The Bundesliga giants are in the market for defensive-minded midfielder. That's why the chance that Joshua Kimmich will stay after reportedly snubbing a reunion with Hansi Flick at Barcelona. The company was confirmed as Bayern's new boss on Wednesday afternoon and joins the team in need for some refreshment after a disappointing season. Bayern missed out on Wharton in January, and there have already been reports that they are lining up a £60 million bid for the 20-year-old. Palace bought him off Blackburn for £22.5 million in January. Now the Independent claims that Wharton has finished top of the many Bayern's analysis point in their search for a new midfielder. Wharton's stunning form at Palace, where he helped propel them to the 10th in the Premier League under Oliver Glasner, has caught the eye. It has earned him a place in Gareth Southgate's professional squad for Euro 2024. Meanwhile, England fans could see him in action on the senior stage for the first time in friendlies against Bosnia and also Iceland. All right, let's also move on to the next big story, which says that Barcelona have announced the appointment of Hansi Flick as their new manager following the departure of Xavi. The former German and Bayern Munich boss has spent a 2-year deal with the club after a tumultuous few weeks at the new camp. Xavi had originally announced in January that he was going to depart his role in the summer before Barcelona president Juan Laporta convinced the club legend to stay in April. However, the former Spanish midfielder then publicly criticized Barcelona's financial position, infuriating Laporta, who decided to sack Xavi last Friday. Meanwhile, the 44-year-old led the Catalan Giants to a 2-1 win against Sevilla in the last game of the season on Sunday to secure a second-place finish in the La Liga before the final details of the departure were ironed out. Barcelona confirmed Xavi's departure in a statement on Wednesday, and they also did thank him for what he had done. Charles, I know you're a very great fan of Barcelona and you're a great fan of Xavi. Did you see this coming? Hello, Charles. Charles, are you there? All right, I think we lost Charles Ohaji there. Wanted to get his take on his favorite club, talking about Barcelona with the sacking of Xavi, what this means. And Xavi also warning Hansi Flick that he was going to suffer if he took the job. All right, let's continue giving some other big stories. Let's let you know that Tottenham forward Richarlison has insisted that he will not leave the club during the transfer window, despite interest from abroad. The Brazilian enjoyed a mixed sixth season in the North London after scoring 11 goals before having his campaign derailed by a knee injury and later a calf injury. There have been questions as to whether Richarlison has become a surplus to requirement at Spurs. Meanwhile, Son Heung-min often playing as their striker. Meanwhile, Tottenham have been linked with a potential move for another forward in the summer, leading to further uncertainty over Richardson's place in the squad. However, despite the ongoing rumors, the Brazilian has come forward and claimed that he has no intentions of leaving the club during the summer. He followed it up by sharing pictures of himself during rehabilitation process as he works to recover from the calf injury that ruled him out of Brazil's Copa America squad. Very sad story there, but just to let you know that earlier in the month, Mail Sport revealed that Saudi League leaders Al Hilal were keen to land the Tottenham forward this summer. So we're looking at Richarlison there, hoping to get back to full fitness despite the injury worry, saying he's not leaving he's not leaving anytime soon, talking about Tottenham. All right, let's move on to the world of boxing. It's at Tyson Fury and Usyk again, a rematch as the undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury are set to encounter one another again this year. The pair met on a historic night for the world of boxing on May 18 as the Ukrainian southpaw beat Fury by a split decision to become the first undisputed champion of the four-belt era. Even since the famed fight, the world has been eagerly anticipating when the Gypsy King and the Cart will enter the ring together again. Meanwhile, Fury possessed the option to force a rematch in the contract. The original date proposed for the rematch fight, which is projected to be bigger and better than the first, was set for October, but has been pushed back by the Saudis. All right, so let's go for a very quick break. When we return from this break, we'll be wrapping up some other stories and making the rounds in exciting world of sports. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're still talking sport and we're doing boxing, uppercuts, punches and news. Let's say that the International Boxing Association has become the first sporting body to join the World Athletics in offering medalists, despite prize money for Olympic medalists. That's why being banned from running the competition at the Paris 2024. The disgraced Russian-led organization was stripped of recognition by the International Olympic Committee last year over governance, finance and ethical issues. Boxing in Paris will instead be run by the IOC, so the IBA's offer to award the top performers at the Games has been dismissed as troublemaking by those within the sport. The IBA's Russian President Omar Kremlev announced the unprecedented move in a statement on Wednesday, claiming they will distribute more than $3.1 million to over 100 athletes. He said the IBA will award $100,000 to gold medalists, $50,000 to silver medalists, and $25,000 to bronze medalists. Of those amounts, half will go to the athlete, with the other 50% shared between their coach and national federation. Boxers who lose in the quarterfinals and finish fifth will also receive $10,000, and that's how it's going to be shared, just to inspire everyone to get the job done. All right, let's talk some tennis, and we're looking at the French Open, where world number one Iga Swiatek edged the comeback star Naomi Osaka in a thrilling battle on Wednesday night before becoming the latest voice to take a swipe at the raucous French crowd at the Roland Garros. Swiatek won 7-6, 1-6, 7-5 in an thrilling 2 hours and 57 seconds. But a day after David Goffin compared the crowd to football hooligans, the defending champion also warned fans. Meanwhile, the four-time Grand Slam winner, Osaka, returned from a 2-year hiatus in January after giving birth and has been showing promise. But this was a welcome return to her very best. Swiatek there getting the job done. All right, still talking tennis. Let's talk about one of the finest emerging star when it comes to male tennis now. Let's talk about Carlos Alcaraz. Let's let you know that Carlos Alcaraz labored to his second round victory over Dutch qualifier Jasper de Jong in a match that raised more questions about his chances of lasting the course at the French Open. Meanwhile, the Spanish third seed and reigning Wimbledon champion, who has been battling a forearm injury for 2 months, needed 4 sets to see off the world number 176. The warning signs were there when Alcaraz once again wearing a support sleeve on his right arm was broken in with his first service game. He quickly recovered the break and took the first 2 sets, but the forehand was definitely lacking its usual whip and power. There was to take nothing away from de Jong, who was playing well above his ranking despite struggling physically himself. Indeed, Britain's Jack Draper may feel a little better about his surprise defeat to de Jong in the first round after the 23-year-old broke Alcaraz twice on the way to taking the third set. But de Jong was visibly tiring in the fourth set, despite forcing another early break to serve. He was unable to hold on to his own serve, sinking and sprinkling in too many double faults in the course of the game as Alcaraz got over the line with a 6-3, 6-4, 2-6, 6-2 in their over 3 hours battle. Alcaraz will now face either American Sebastian Korda or South Korean Kyeon Sung-woo in the third round. All right, so that's what played out there in terms of the matches going ahead. All right, let's give you 2 more stories before we call it a wrap. Let's tell you that a Belgian tennis star has slammed fans at the French Open after they allegedly spat at him during a match. David Goffin, who is 33, began home favorite Giovanni Pericard in the first round following a 5-set epic, with the world number 115 winning 4-6, 6-4, 6-3, 6-7, 6-3 after 3 hours and 35 minutes. Goffin, who is competing at the Roland Garros for the 13th time, with his best performance being a quarterfinal finish in 2016, sent a message to the crowd on court 14 by holding his hands to his ears. All right, a lot happening in the world of tennis. Let's go to gymnastics, where U.S. gymnastics legend Gabby Douglas will miss the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris after suffering an ankle injury in training. The 3-time gold medalist sustained the injury while training for the U.S. Championship this weekend in Fort Worth, Texas. All right, so that's what's panning out there in the world of tennis. Let's see if we can do some little bit of golf here before we call it a wrap. Let's let you know that Scotty Scheffler has been cleared of all charges after his arrest at the US PGA Championship earlier this month. The world number one had faced 4 charges, including felony offenses of a second-degree assault of a police officer in the dramatic event of May 17, when he was arrested and led away with handcuffs at the gate of the Valhalla golf course. Meanwhile, we've got Jackson County Attorney General in the person of Mike O'Connell addressed the court regarding the case on Wednesday and announced his office would not pursue criminal action against golf's world number one. Meanwhile, O'Connell filed a motion to dismiss the case, and Scheffler's claim that the incident was a misunderstanding is corroborated by the evidence given. So that's one of the reasons why all the charges were dropped against him. All right, just to restate the fact that Olympiacos won their first major European trophy as Ayoub Al-Kabi's late extra-time winner inflicted a second straight Europa Conference League defeat on Fiorentina, a forgettable final sparked into life with just 4 minutes of extra time remaining as Kabi turned home the only goal of the game, taking place at the home of Olympiacos rivals AEK Athens, while the Greek side could celebrate becoming the first team from their country to win a European trophy. Fiorentina were once again left wondering what might have been a year after losing the final to West Ham. All right, that's the issues there. Let's talk about the revamped FIFA Club World Cup before we call it a wrap. Let's let you know that the Club World Cup will go on to establish itself as a bigger sporting spectacle than the traditional World Cup, despite its naysayers, according to Paris Saint-Germain Chairman Nasser Khalifi, who is also the chairman of the European Club Association, believes that the newly expanded version of the tournament, which launches in the United States in 2025, will become one of the biggest competitions on the planet. The Club World Cup will be bigger than the World Cup itself, was what they promised. Well, nobody wants any competition bigger than the World Cup. Meanwhile, the tournament, which would include teams such as Chelsea, Real Madrid, and Manchester City, will run from June 15 to July 13 in 2025 and will be marked as the best of the best, slugging it out across the state. Meanwhile, there have been criticism, namely how it further strains players with footballing calendar already bursting at the seams. All right, so that's one man. Let's give you the story about one man who is aiming to retire from football, and I guess you know him. Your good is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. As a former Italy and Juventus defender, Leonardo Bonucci has called time on his glittering 19-year career. The 37-year-old won Euro 2020 as part of Roberto Mancini's squad, scoring in the final at Wembley, and claimed the 8 Serie A titles for Coppa Italia crowns. All right, Bonucci is retiring from football. We're going to be missing him. A great player, very tough defender at that, and so committed to the Italian national team. He's someone that they surely would miss in the national team, talking about Bonucci. All right, it's on that note, we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program Talk Sport on Global Television. I must say thank you to Charles Ohaji, who joined me in the course of the program to give his analysis as regards some of the big thumping stories we shared with you this morning. My name is Anthony Momodu saying thank you for joining me, and let's do this again tomorrow.